So, is there anyone in this room who would like to have a better memory, better being able to remember things? Okay, that's nearly half of you. And now there may be people in this room who would like to have better concentration, better being able to focus on the job and not get distracted. Is even more people. Well, I can tell you, if these things don't work, it may have to do with stress, and luckily there are things you can do to improve it. I'm trained as a neurobiologist and I work as a science journalist, so you can say I know a thing or two about this process organ, but there can be quite a gap between knowing a lot about the brain and actually being good. When I started off a science journalist 20 years ago, I was so eager to show the world that I could do it. I took on every assignment could have. I interviewed every hotshot. I worked away past midnight and I had to get up early because I had two little kids on short of challenges and no time to think. Now I know where that leads to, right? I couldn't believe it, but I had to burn out and it felt my brain had just given up on me. I wasn't able to plan anymore. I couldn't decide from a large to-do list what to do first and what to do next. I couldn't concentrate on my work. I couldn't remember anything, and my emotions were all over the place, mentally low. And as a science journalist, as a brain scientist, I knew that chronic stress is devastating for your brain. It gets marinated in toxic cocktail of stress and it affects two areas. The first area is to frontal lobe, and I brought a human brain. It sits in your head like this, and this frontal lobe, we use this to exactly all those things such as mention to make set a goal, to decide what to do first, what to do next. It's the seat of your working memory. You use it to focus on your job and it keeps your emotions under control. And the second vulnerable part is the hippocampus. It's on either in the middle, a bit more in the middle, and this is the core of our memory. Now, why are these two areas so sensitive to stress? It's because stress hormones, high stress hormone, literally make these cells in this area sink. You see brain cell here are red, this is cell body, and you see all those long extensions, those branches and twigs, and they reach out to another, they make contact with each other. And in rest and in people who are chronically stressed, you see that these branches disappear, the contacts break down, and the network just doesn't work as well anymore. So that's bad news, right? But luckily, brain science has revealed many things you can do to counteract this. And I discovered that when I dove into the literature and in search for ways to improve the brain, and I'll share with you the four most important ones. By far, the best thing you can do for your brain is be physically active. Now we all know that being physically active is good for your health, but there can be quite a gap between knowing this. Yeah, but when we're working out, it's not just good because your heart starts pumping and you get oxygen. While you're being physically active, your brain actually makes growth factor that stimulates outgrowth of the branches. There they grow out again and they reestablish contacts. Maybe even new cells are formed. So while you're working out, you're not just working on a gorgeous body, but you're also working on a gorgeous mind. And you don't have to run a marathon, is that your thing? Cause research shows people who just work briskly for 3 times a week, 45 minutes a day, a wake-up period 3 times a week, 45 minutes, their hippocampus is already bigger in size than people who only do stretching exercises. So I used to decide to first get that deadline and then go to the gym maybe later, maybe next week. But I don't do that anymore, and now I first go to the gym and then get the deadline. The second very important thing you can do for your brain is sleep well. Now I'd like to see your hands. Who of you has slept 8 hours last night? Well, you are doing quite okay. I think it's 40%. There can be quite a gap between knowing that sleep is good for you and actually do it. But I can tell you, and you may know already, sleep loss is chronic stressor for your brain. As well, already after one night without sleep, you know that your concentration is bad, your memory is worse, you're inirritable. So that's only after one night of sleep. This area behind your forehead starts manufacturing, let alone after many nights. While we sleep, our brain reorganizes. The good connections are strengthened, the bad connections are taken out, and it washes itself clean. So we really need that for a good working brain. Now I told you I work till the past midnight, but I don't do that anymore. I make sure I get 8 hours of sleep, and it's really difficult for me because I'm a night owl. I make sure I make up for it next night. Of course, your brain then also needs good building blocks food. And doing food research is very difficult. It's very hard to pinpoint which specific vitamin or mineral, but for an entire eating pattern is perfectly clear. People eat Mediterranean diet have a better brain for a long time with a better memory and better concentration. Now, what is that diet? It sounds like it's all pizza and paste, maybe. Maybe you hope that, but that's not the case. It's large amounts of fruit and vegetables. That's the basis, and you see fish here. Lying fish is very important because it provides omega-3, and these are essential building blocks for our brain, and we cannot make them ourselves. Well, you see some other, and you also see these healthy fats, olive oil and nuts. And in some studies, these seem to be the two secrets that keep your brain healthy for a long time. Just saying. Maybe some eagle eyes in the room have spotted a bottle of red wine. I don't know if you saw that. I hid it here behind in the label. No, it's not good for you. I'm sorry, not for your brain at least. Then there's the fourth thing you can do to improve your brain that is meditate. And this is maybe even a harder area to do research on, but these increasing scientific papers. Meditation can have beneficial effects on your focus and your attention in a basic way. And you can look at meditation as a training of your attention. Cause you sit and you focus on your breath, and then your mind wanders off to something you have to do, and you put it back on your breath, and it happens again. Your emotion control. It seems that many of these functions of the area behind your forehead are strengthened by meditation training, so you can try it if you like. Build into your routine in the morning or just before you go to bed, or you can start with 5 minutes and see how it goes. I do it every day, and in times that I don't, I really miss it. So with these 4 adjustments in your life, you can really counteract the devastating effect of chronic stress and make your brain resilient to it. I build these into my routines ever since, and I must say my brain works good again. And I know now that it's perfectly fine to work hard and long hours as long as I take good care of my brain. So I hope I've made the gap between knowing and doing a little bit smaller for you today, and I can only ask you please be good to your brain, 'cause it's crown, so treat her like a queen. Thank you.